Hey, fourth graders, welcome back. It's part 2 of math. This part will actually be very straightforward. We are going to practice looking at 2-digit and 4-digit quotients with division. So again, I want you to please be doing and following along. I'm in my regular math book, page 107. I decided to stay in our regular math book. So this is the thick one. And as promised, 2-digit and 4-digit quotients. So quotients reminding me that means division. That is the answer in division. All right. So this is asking us to solve doing 2 steps. So not only are we doing the place value sections, but we're also doing expanded notation method. That's what we just practiced in part 1, and place value section we have been practicing. That's kind of like our model, right? Where we draw the rectangle and we divide it up. I'm going to actually just skip right over to number 2 so that we can do this one together. They've already broken it up. I can see here this is the quotient because it's inside waiting for me to solve. This is like 162 divided by 6. So again, I can show this because it's like a giant division, long division problem. I love that. All right. Then I can see here that I only have 2 places, which means I've got a tens place and then a ones place. The 0 is kindly put there for me, and I'm going to go to it. Remember, I'm talking to myself and I'm saying 6 times what in the tens can get me closest to 16. Now, the reason that I'm doing 16 is because if I just look at one digit, 1 is too small. 6 is already bigger, so I need another digit. 6 times what gets me really close to 16? Thinking about this, I'm going to use some space up here. 6 times 2 equals 12. And if I add that 0, 120, let's keep going. 6 times 3 with the 0, 30 would be 18. Too big. I can't use that. So it looks like I'm going to 20. So 6 times 2 gets me as close as I can. That's 12. And I'll put in my 0 for the tens. Let's subtract. Here we go. See what we've got? We still have 42. So we're going to pull this into the ones place. And again, I'm going to talk to myself. 6 times what gets me to 42 or really close without going over? It's 1 digit. I'm in the ones place. I hope you were thinking 7. 7 times 6 is 42, so I'll write it down. Do my subtraction to see if there will be remainders. There are no remainders. When I add my 2 together, 20 plus 7 is 27. So that means that the missing factor is 27. Okay, so 27 times 6 should equal 162. Now, if we're doing the expanded notation, here we go. We're going to build up on top. So we said 6 times 20. So 2 times 6, that was 12, and we put a 0 in, so 120. Then we subtracted. Okay, so remember, here we are. We're going to build. When we do our expanded notation, we go up and we go down. We're left with 42, so we're saying 6 times what? One digit can get me really close to 42, and we already did that. We said it was 7. 7 times 6 is 42. We subtract, and there are no remainders. So again, now we're adding these 2 places. 20 plus 7 is 27. This, again, is our answer. Okay, so 27 is the missing factor. Let's go down. Let's look, number 3. You should be doing this with me. Now this one you can see in the model, there are 4 places. That's telling me that it's going to be the missing answer, missing factor will be in the thousands place. They've kindly put the zeros in for me so I know what I'm doing, okay? Again, if I use and highlight, this is like a giant long division problem. So here is my quotient, 8,984 divided by 8. So I've got one of my factors, it's 8. Now I need to find what the missing factor is. Let's do it. I'll start with one digit. I'm saying in my mind, 8 times what gets me really close to 8? I hope you said 1. And because we're in the thousands place, we've got our 3 zeros. 1 times 8 is 8, and we put in our 3 zeros. We subtract. Let's see what we have to move on. Okay, we have 984 left. So we're going to put that into our hundreds place. Okay, now we're doing this. We're starting with one digit and we're saying 8 times what gets me really close to 9 without going over? Again, I hope you're thinking 1. We are in the hundreds, so we've got those 2 zeros already. 1 times 8 is 8, and we'll put in our 2 zeros for the hundreds place. Let's subtract. And we're still left with 184. That's what we're going to keep working on. So we put this now in the tens place. So we're thinking of tens. That's why we have 1 0 here. And again, we can start with one digit, but we'll see that's too small. So we let out another. Now in our minds, we're saying 8 times what gets me really close to 18 without going over? Hope you were thinking 2, because 2 times 8 is 16. And since we're in the tens place, we have 1 0. So 160. Let's subtract 4 and 2. So we still have 24 as part of our equation. We're going to pull this to the ones place. So we're left with one digit. Now we're thinking 8 times what gets me to 24 or really close without going over? I hope you thought of 3. 3 times 8 is 24. So this is where we subtract at the end to see if there are remainders, and there are not in this one. Okay, now to find that factor, we add all 4 places up. Hopefully you can just see each place really easily. 1,123. This is our missing factor. And again, to check, I would multiply my 2 factors and I should get this quotient. Okay, if I'm doing expanded, this is what it's going to look like. 8 times 1. This is the thousands place. We have to put our 3 zeros. 1 times 8 is 8 plus the 3 zeros, so 8,000. Then we'll subtract 4, 8, 9. So we're going to build up on top here. So now we're thinking 8 times what gets me really close to 9? And remember, now we're in the hundreds place. So it's 1 again. 1 times 8 is 8. And our 2 zeros to show the hundreds place, so that's 800. We'll subtract 4, 8, 1, so 184. Now we're moving to the tens, so we're going to just have 1 0. So 8 times what gets me really close to 18? That's a 2 because 2 times 8 is 16, and we've got our 1 0 for the tens place. We'll subtract 4 and 2, so we have 24 left over. We have 1, we're in the ones place now. So 8 times what? One digit number gets you to 24. Hopefully you said 3, because 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract. There are no remainders. Now we need to add these 4 parts together, and this equals 1,123. And that's just expanding it out. Okay, so same thing. Expanded notation and place value sections. So remember, these are just different methods. There's one more method, and that will be digit by digit. And that's kind of the standard. It's kind of like the shortcut version. And after we practice with these two methods some more today, we'll be moving to that method next week. All right, let's keep practicing. Hang in there, you guys.